took several months. We had to compile a lot of different data that was gathered at 3 different aid stations. And then with the help of a couple of professors at the University of Arizona and some key No More Deaths people who'd been intimately involved with gathering all this data, we started writing and editing and writing and editing, and we finished the final edition of the report within hours of going before Congress to show it to them.
The findings of this report are buttressed by an appendix of 345 testimonies of abuse drawn from thousands of interviews of deportees by volunteers. Here are a couple that highlight the failure by the Border Patrol to respect the basic human dignity of the migrants. Alfonso, age 27, and Jorge, age 34, witnessed an agent kick one man's legs apart so roughly that his pants ripped. When a woman said, "How can you treat us like that? We're not from the streets." An agent said, "You're a piece of shit." Another agent told them, "The next time you run, we'll kick your butts and leave you here in the desert." The agents threw away all their food and gave their fruit to Border Patrol horses. A group of 15 was forced to run in place for 30 minutes by Border Patrol agents who told them that they were making them do so to ensure that they would not want to come back. They kicked anyone who stopped, including a 14-year-old boy, a 16-year-old boy, and 3 women. Recommendations in the report cluster around 7 specific issues. In many cases, Border Patrol agents are refusing ordinary aid owed to any distressed prisoner, the same aid that No More Deaths volunteers are working to provide in the desert and at aid stations. Issue number 1 is water. From the interviews, we learned that the Border Patrol has inadequate amounts of it, their methods of distributing it are unsanitary, they deny it, and they don't take into account people with particular problems, like kidney damage. Here are a couple of examples from actual accounts. A male, aged 25, from Chiapas, Mexico, reported that he and his group were given 1 liter of water to share between 8 people. He also had severe blisters on his feet and was sworn at and kicked in the chest by a Border Patrol agent. 34 men and 2 children were repatriated after being in custody for 24 hours. They were given no food or water. No More Deaths recommends that agents should always have water available in the field. Every migrant who is apprehended should be given an individual bottle of water without having to request it. Electrolytes should be available for any migrant who needs them. If migrants are unable to drink or vomit upon drinking, this is a sign of severe physical distress and a potentially dangerous stage of dehydration. In this case, medical professionals should be called and migrants should be evacuated immediately from the field to a medical facility. In the processing centers, migrants must always have unlimited access to water. Every migrant should have his or her own cup so as not to be exposed to potential disease. The second issue is food. We frequently hear of agents throwing away migrants' food. In processing centers, requests for sufficient food, even from children and pregnant women, are dismissed. Systematic denial of food exacerbates all the other problems that are common among migrants. Here are a couple of examples. 5 mothers with 5 young children were apprehended by the Border Patrol as they crossed the desert. They were not given food or water in the desert, on the bus, or in the processing center. Additionally, they were not examined for medical needs, despite having spent 3 days in the desert and having young children with them. Corbita reported that Border Patrol denied her and her daughters, Gaby and Juana, food while they were in custody from 10 a.m. until 8 a.m. the following day. No More Deaths recommends that agents in the field be provided with basic snack mixes that they should provide to all migrants they encounter. As migrants are being processed in the centers, each migrant should be provided with a food pack. Meals should be given regularly to allow for migrants to recuperate. Issue number 3 is medical treatment and access to medical professionals. While in custody, blisters covering entire soles of feet have gone untreated and become infected. Medications for pre-existing conditions like high blood pressure and diabetes are confiscated and not returned. Open wounds, broken bones, and heat stroke have gone untreated before deportation. And even those who've been hospitalized are repeatedly observed by volunteers to be deported wearing only their hospital gowns. A man, aged 28, was repatriated with a cactus spine in his eye, causing it to bleed. He had been in custody without receiving any treatment for the eye injury. No food and insufficient water were provided. A pregnant female, age 18, was experiencing pregnancy complications and stomach pains after falling. She received no care while in Border Patrol custody. No More Deaths recommends that migrants be assessed and provided medical care in the field and at the processing centers, and that migrants who receive medical care while in custody should receive full treatment for their conditions. That is, broken bones should be set, open wounds that need stitches should be stitched, and any prescriptions should be filled prior to their repatriation. All open wounds, including puncture wounds and blisters, should be cleaned and attended to prior to repatriation and as soon as is feasible once the migrant is in custody. Fourth, transportation in the vehicles of the Border Patrol and of the Wackenhut Corporation, a private security firm under contract to Homeland Security to transport prisoners and deportees. Reports include lack of seat belts, agents driving at high speed over rough terrain carrying shackled prisoners, hazardous overcrowding, vehicles kept at extreme temperatures. A group of 31 men and 4 women were deported at the Nogales port of entry. They reported spending several hours in Border Patrol custody where they did not receive food or water. They also reported being forced to spend hours in a 108-degree Border Patrol vehicle without air conditioning. 4 had untreated blisters. A group of migrants, including 15 men, 4 women, and 1 child, reported being treated like animals by Border Patrol agents. They reported having things thrown at them and being pushed and yelled at. They also reported that the agents drove dangerously fast, causing their heads to hit the sides of the transportation vehicle. They reported not being given food during their detention either. No More Deaths recommends that temperatures in vehicles be kept in a consistent, moderate range. Transportation should always be at a safe speed that takes into account road and weather conditions. Migrants should not be crowded into vehicles. In vehicles with seat belts, there should be a seat belt for every migrant. Issue number 5 is processing center conditions. Holding cells kept at extreme temperature, blankets filthy or denied altogether, migrants forced to sleep on overcrowded floors. Migrants are verbally and physically abused. Migrants are not informed of their right to legal counsel and to contact their consulate. They are coerced into signing forms they do not understand. 95 men, 28 women, and 4 children ages 4 to 11 were reportedly held in Border Patrol custody for 4 hours after being in the desert for up to 3 days. Border Patrol agents did not let women go to the bathroom. One man saw an agent choke a 20-year-old male on the bus. A group of 3 men and 9 women were repatriated after being in Border Patrol custody for 16 hours. The agents had thrown away their backpacks and yelled at them. When they told one man to get up and he didn't, a Border Patrol agent kicked him in the eye with his boot. 2 women had untreated blisters, and another was forced to sign a document in English that she did not understand. When she asked, the agents refused to tell her what she was signing. No More Deaths recommends that, upon admission, migrants need to be informed of their rights in a language they understand, including the right to petition for asylum, to see a judge or attorney, and their right to consular notification. They should be able to make phone calls to legal counsel and to their consulate. They should be provided with 2 clean blankets each, and the cells should provide adequate space and facilities for sleeping. They should have, and be told that they have, access to toilet facilities upon request. They should have basic toiletries, soap, toothbrush, and toothpaste. Diapers and sanitary products should be available upon request. And a female officer should always be present when women or children are in custody at the processing center.